Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog at stampwithelaine.com. Today's project is on how to cut a 6x6 designer series paper into 4 quirky layouts to make 4 cards. When you put them together, they will actually be all the same. And if you're using double-sided paper, you can either use this side or this side. The papers I've chosen to use is the Love You Always Specialty Designer Series paper. It's single-sided design, and there are 4 sheets of 3 designs, so 12 by 12 inch sheets in a pack. This is the Sahara Sand one with the gold foil leaves. This is a floral one in Rococo Rose, and this is the one we're going to be using in Petal Pink. The stamp set I'm using is Heartfelt, bundled with the Heart Punch pack. This consists of 2 punches. One is plain, as you can see, and the other one is scalloped. You'll find this stamp set on page 75 of the annual catalogue, and the punches are at the back on page 168. It's still available as a bundle, and you can save 10% if you buy both the stamp set and the punches together. This is the card we'll be making once the designer series paper has been cut. You'll need a card base that is in Sahara Sand at 8 1/4 inches by 5 7/8 inches. That's 21 centimeters by 14.85 and folded in half. You need a scrap of Rococo Rose for the matte layer and Whisper White for stamping with. Basic white. Glue that to the inside of your card, and this measures 5 1/2 by 3 3/4. In metric, that's 14 centimeters by 9.5 centimeters. The inks I'm using are Sahara Sand and Petal Pink, and some basic rhinestones. This is my template, so you measure 1 1/2 inches from the top left hand corner, 1 1/2 inches in, rotate it anti-clockwise and measure 1 1/2 inches again from this side, rotate it anti-clockwise on the 3rd edge, measure 1 1/2 inches, and then finally on the 4th edge rotate it again anti-clockwise 1 1/2 inches. So that's the pattern this way. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to measure that at 1 1/2 inches. Rotate it anti-clockwise and measure this edge at 1 1/2 inches as well. Rotate it on the 3rd edge anti-clockwise 1 1/2 inches. Rotate it again on the last edge at 1 1/2 inches. Oh darn, I forgot to record it, so I've already cut it, but I'll show you how you should put it in your trimmer. Find the 1 1/2 inch mark there, 1 1/2 inch mark down here. Let me do it this way. Find the 1 1/2 inch mark there and 1 1/2 inch mark on the opposite side. Put it in the cutting groove and then cut. And now you have 2 pieces like that. So you put the long side, that piece, at the top of your trimmer, and then you find the 1 1/2 inch mark down on this side and line that up inside the cutting groove, and you make that 2nd cut, which will give you these 2 pieces, and they will be identical when you put them together. Do the same again with the long side at the top, and then you cut at the 1 1/2 inch mark down there. Okay, and then that will give you the other 2 pieces, and in fact all four will be exactly the same. Now you want to make a matte layer. Now you can make a template, but I found it easier to trace round these two edges here. Okay, so I've done that so that if you're using gold foil or something, you can gut the inside of your cardstock to not waste the inside. Like so, and then when you glue that on top, you haven't wasted anything. I've demonstrated it on the Rococo Rose bit cardstock because the gold foil one is rather precious. On my gold foil, I've used it for this sample, but I'm just going to use Rococo Rose for the next one. Okay, so I've traced around the edge of that so I know the parameters for punching out my circles. But you can rub that off and then just apply some adhesive onto the outside of the designer series paper, just where you want it. I'll just find it easier to do it that way. Cut beyond that a little bit, then I can put it on my trimmer and do the other side. So I line up the paper with the edge of the ruler here to make sure it's straight. To tad. So that way you don't get any mistakes. Ask me how I know. I make the mistakes so you don't have to. Now first I'm going to stamp in petal pink. I need to stamp the arrow and the heart. One of them I'm going to cut out the centre of the heart, which is this bit here. And I'm going to move the cardstock, ink it up in Sahara sand, and I'm deliberately doing it on the edge of the paper so that it's easier to punch. Center the sentiment love in the middle of here, of this petal pink one, and pick up the stamp and then stamp that in Sahara sand. Bring in my punch and punch out the scalloped heart. Center that. And I want to fussy cut the centre of this petal pink one, so I'll speed this up. I just want the inside, this outline here. So angle your scissors at a 45-degree angle and move the paper, not the scissors. Grab a dimensional and pop it on the back. Stick that onto the Sahara sand heart. Next, cut out the arrow. For the Inside of the card, I'm only going to stamp this little heart right in the corner. It needn't be a Valentine's card. It could be an anniversary card. So I just want to leave the inside blank. Pop some glue on and stick it to the inside of the card, leaving an even border all round. Now you find that the cards won't always be exactly the same. Might be slightly different. I'm going to use glue dots for that. Just the arrowhead and the quiver, I think it's called. I want that parallel to this. And pop that up on dimensionals as well. I think I might have that skew width, so pop them randomly. Voila, the card's finished. You can also do them in different colourways. This one's in Petal Pink, that's in Rococo Rose. No two will be the same, they'll all be different. This is the one we made today. Hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. If you like it, do give me a thumbs up, subscribe or share. You can also find me on Facebook, Pinterest or Instagram. You'll find the supply links below this video in the Show More section, or you can read more about it over on my blog. The link is also there. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with more inspiration.